Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Jai. Accept a humble obeisance of glories to Jagat Guru Shri Prabhupada. We thank you for being here, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
So, dear devotees, we thank you as always for being here. Today is Friday, last day of the week, and we are blessed. We have the presence of His Grace Srivas Vanacari Prabhu, who will be speaking to us from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhuji needs no introduction. He's our mentor, is our dearest devotee in the West African Yatra. And he's been guiding us, some of us, from the very beginning of our devotional service till today. So we are very much blessed to have your association. Prabhuji, if you're ready, we may put the verse on the screen and then you may take it over.
Yeah.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Narayana Namaskritya Narachaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mandirayat Nashtapraya Swabhadresu Nityam Bhagavatam Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamasloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 7. I think this is the various incarnations. And we are treating text 22, as is on the board. Shatram Shaya Vidono Pabritam Mahatma Brahma Druk Unjita Patam Narakarti Lipshu Udanti Asau Avani Kantakam Ugra Viryas Tri Sapta Kritva Urudara Paraswadena Shatram Shaya Vidino Pabritam Mahatma Brahma Druk Ujita Patam Narakarti Lipshu Udanti Aso Avanikata Ugra Viryas Tri Sapta Kritva Urudara Paraswadena Dena Shatram Shaya Vino Pairitam Mahatma Brahma Druk Ujita Patam Narakarti Lipshu Udanti Aso Avani Kantakam Ugra Viryas Tri Sapta Kritva Urudara Paraswedina. Word for word translation. Shatram, the royal order. Shayaya, for the sake of diminishing. Vidina, by destination. shall end. Upon Britam, increase in proportion. Mahatma, the Lord in the form of a great sage Parashuram. Brahmadruk, the ultimate truth in Brahman. Ojita, Patam, those who have given up the path of absolute truth. Naraka Arti Nipshu, desirous to suffer pain in hell. Pudanti exacts, so all those. Avani Kantatam, tongues of the world. Ugra Viryaha, awfully powerful. Tri Sapta, thrice 7 times. Kritva, performed. Urudara, very sharp. Pareshwa Dena, by the great chopper. Translation. When the ruling administrators, who are known as the Kshatriyas, turn astray from the path of the absolute truth, being desirous to suffer in hell, the Lord in his incarnation as sage Parashuram uprooted those unwanted kings who appeared as the thorns of the earth. Thus he thrice 7 times uprooted the Kshatriyas with his keenly sharpened chopper. Purport. The Kshatriyas are the ruling administrators of any part of the universe, either on this planet or on other planets, are factually the representatives of the Almighty Personality of Godhead. And they are meant to lead the subjects towards the path of God realization. Every state and its administrators, regardless of the nature of the administration, monarchy or democracy, oligarchy or dictatorship or autocracy, have the prime responsibility to lead the citizens towards God realization. This is essential for all human beings, and it is the duty of the Father, spiritual master, and ultimately the state to take up the responsibility of leading the citizens towards this end. The whole creation of the material existence is made for this purpose, just to give a chance to the fallen souls who rebelled against the will of the Supreme Father and thus became conditioned by material nature. The force of material nature gradually leads one to a hellish condition of perpetual pains and miseries. Those going against the prescribed rules and regulations of conditional life are called Brahmojita Pantas, or persons going against the path of the absolute truth, and they are liable to be punished. Lord Parasuram, the incarnation of the personality of Godhead, appeared in such a state of worldly affairs and killed all the miscreant kings 21 times. Many Kshatriya kings fled from India to other parts of the world at that time. And according to the authority of the Mahabharata, the kings of Egypt originally migrated from India because of Parashurama's program of chastisement. The kings or administrators are similarly chastised in all circumstances whenever they become godless and plan a godless civilization. That is the order of the Almighty. Om Jnana-timirasya Jnanam Janasalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yukta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunastam Bitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakam Bitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Tirtha Swami Iti Namini Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Asri Tatmane Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Bhakti Chaitanya Iti Namini Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvase Sashunyavadi Pasachare Satarini Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitadam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namini Gauratize Namaha Nityanando Vatutendo Ruvasuda Pranavalabhar Janavir Jivita Patil Krishna Prema Prabhu Padma Vati Sutta Srimam Sachirananda Purvajaha Bhavum Mata Jagat Rakta Rakta Gora Kilevaraha Advaitam Harina Dvaita Racharyam Bhakti Shamshanat Bhaktavataram Itam Sham Advaita Acharya Shraye Panchatattvamakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakti Shaktikam Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Nama Pankajanabaya Nama Pankajamaline Nama Pankajanitraya Namaste Pankajagraye Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagadhitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopita Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Jayatam Sarato Pango Mama Madirgati Masarvaswa Padambu Radha Madana Mohano Divyarvindaranya Kalpa Durmada Srimad Radhagara Simhastanastau Srila Govinda Devo Pristhyalibi Sevya Manosmarami Srimamra Sarasarambi Vamsivata Tatastita Karasan Vinu Swanai Gopi Gopinata Sriyestunaha Taptakan Chanagaurangi Radhe Brindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Suta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Devi Krishnamai Prokta Radhika Paradevata Sarvan Lakshmi Mais Kanta Samohini Paraha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Translation again. When the ruling administrators, who are known as the Kshatriyas, turn astray from the path of the absolute truth, being desirous to suffer in hell, the Lord in his incarnation as the sage Parashuram uprooted those unwanted kings who appeared as thorns of the earth. Thus he tries 7 times, uprooted the Kshatriyas with his keenly sharpened chopper. Ukam karoti vachalam pangum lagayate grim, yat kripatamahan vande Shri Guru Dina Taranam, Paramanam Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram, Akanda Mandalakaram Vyapta Yena Characharam, Tatpadam Dashitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. So, we'd like to welcome everyone to today's Srimad Bhagavatam class. And before we proceed to say something about this verse, we first of all seek the blessings of all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis assembled on this platform, so that by their blessing, we may say something which will be beneficial for our own spiritual progress and may be relevant to the audience. So this verse is talking about the ruling administrators, the ruling class, who are the Kshatriyas, and their duty is to guide the citizens toward the absolute truth. That is the injunction of the scriptures. Guru nasasyat, swajano nasasyat. Pita nasyasyat, janani nasasyat. Daivam na tatsyan, tatpatis na chasyan, na mochayet sa sampute na mrityum. One who cannot deliver his dependence from the path of repeated birth and death should never become a spiritual master, a relative, a father, a husband, a mother, a king, or a worshipable demigod. So to be a king, to be an administrator, is a serious responsibility. That is what Lord Rishabhadev told his 100 sons, that to lead means responsibility. So if we use this statement of Lord Rishabhadev as the hallmark or the benchmark for our today's leaders, they are far from reality, because the political system of today, they claim to be secular. Secular means that they have nothing to do with religion. They have nothing to do with self-realization. They have nothing to do with dharma. Their only business is to exploit, so to speak. And so here, Srimad Bhagavatam is telling us that because the administrators, the Kshatriyas, who are the administrative class, they turn astray from the path of the absolute truth. They became desirous to suffer in hell. As soon as the administrators fail to execute their duties, when they fail to guide the citizens towards the absolute truth, when they fail to guide the citizens in pursuing religious principles, immediately they are qualified for hell. And because the Kshatriyas in the past refused to do their duty, neglected their duties, the Lord had to incarnate as Parashuram to punish them. So in this verse, it is mentioned that the Lord in his incarnation as sage Parashurama uprooted those unwanted kings who appeared as the thorns of the earth. Thus, he thrice 7 times uprooted the Kshatriyas with his keenly sharpened chopper. So, and then it is mentioned here that because of the activities of Parashuram, many Kshatriyas fled from India. In fact, the Mahabharata mentions, and also in the Srimad Bhagavatam is also mentioned, that the various tribes or races that we have, the Germans, the English, Europeans, they are all originally from India. And even here is mentioned, even the Arabs we have in Africa, beginning from Egypt, there were also Kshatriyas from India. There were fallen Kshatriyas from India. But when Parashuram appeared and was killing them in their numbers, they all fled. So from this, we can understand the Arabs, because sometimes people ask the question, where did the Arabs come from to occupy part of Africa? Because Africa is supposed to be for only black race. But where did these Arabs come from? So here the answer is given. Now, because they were fallen Kshatriyas, they were no more following the standards as prescribed by this Shastra. Parasuram appeared with his chopper in hand, and he did not spare them. He routed them 21 times, and that put fear into the rest of the fallen Kshatriyas, and they all fled from India into different parts of Europe and even into Africa. And that is how we have these white Muslims in Africa. So what actually happened before Parasuram's action? So first, we have to trace the birth of Parasuram. In the 9th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is mentioned, Sa Chabut Sumahat Punya Koshiki Loka Pavani Reno Sutam Reno Kamvai Jarmanir Ovahayam. Jagmadagni is the father of Parashuram. And Jagmadagni's wife is called Renuka. Renuka is the daughter of Renu. And in her womb, Jagmadagni had many sons, headed by Vashuman. Of the many sons, the youngest of his sons was Parashuram. Parashuram appeared on this world as an incarnation of Lord Vasudeva. Yam ahur Vasudevam sam, hayanam kulaktakam. Learned scholars accept this Parashuram as a celebrated incarnation of Vasudeva, who annihilated the dynasty of the Kshatriyas. So then the question comes, what offense did the Kshatriyas commit to warrant this violent action of Parashuram? So the 9th canto tells us a story. Kim tat amo bhagavato rajanyai ajitadma bihri kritam yena kulam nashtam shatriyanam abhiksh nashaha. What is the offense? What offense did these Kshatriyas commit before Lord Parashuram, the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for which the Lord annihilated the Kshatriya dynasty again and again and again, 21 times? Hayanam Adipatir Arjuna Kshatriya Yashabaha Datam Narayanam Shamsham Aradhya Parikarma Mibir. There was once a great king. His name is Kartavirya Arjuna. Kartavirya Arjuna. He was a king of the Hahayas. It's an Asian tribe, Hahayas. He was a king. He was a devotee of Dattatreya. Dattatreya is the second son of Lord Shiva. And he is the commander-in-chief of the demigods, Dattatreya. So he was a devotee of Dattatreya, and so he performed a lot of austerities and performed all kinds of worship to please Dattatreya. So Dattatreya benedicted him with 1,000 arms, by which he could defeat all his enemies. When Kartavirya Arjuna received this benediction of 1,000 arms, and not that alone, he also had the 8 mystic perfections. He became very naughty. Kartavirya Arjuna will go to the Narmadi River. With his ladies, he will go in the company of many, many beautiful ladies. Because he's so powerful, 1,000 arms, and with all the 8 mystical powers. So it is said that once he was enjoying in the waters of the river Narmadi, surrounded by beautiful women, and he was gallanted with a gallant of victory. And with his 1,000 arms, he blocked the river from flowing. He used his 1,000 arms to block the river from flowing. And so there was a flood. Once the river is not allowed to flow, the water flows back. When you do allow the water to flow downstream, it has to flow back. And so that created a flood. And so this flood went and entered Ravana's ashram. Ravana's ashram was flooded. And so Ravana was tracing to see what is the cause of this flooding, because it's unusual. And then he came to see that it was Kartavirya Arjuna who was blocking the river from flowing. So he questioned Kartavirya Arjuna, why are you blocking the river from flowing? Rivers flow towards the sea. They flow from uphill to downhill. You have blocked the way of the river. Why are you doing this? Immediately, Kartavirya Arjuna became very angry. Why should Ravana come and ask him such a question? Immediately, he grabbed Ravana by the neck and put him under his armpit, just to show how powerful he was. So from there, his false ego increased, because Ravana has 10 heads and everybody feared Ravana. But Kartavirya Arjuna could just grab Ravana by the neck and put him under his armpit. So it shows how powerful he was. So from that moment on, his pride increased. So one day, he went on hunting, and he came across Jamandagni's ashram. He had a large retinue, he had a large following. It's a powerful king. So wherever he goes with a very powerful military entourage. So he got to Jagmandagni's ashram in the middle of the forest. And Jagmandagni was very charitable. He received the king very nicely and provided everything they needed, even though he was living in the forest in a humble hermitage. He created a first-class guest house, provided the best meals whenever they needed. The first-class hospitality was provided for Kritavirya Arjuna with his big retinue. So the king was surprised. How is it possible that this poor sage in the forest, the middle of nowhere, how did he create this big guest house? How did he provide all these meals? How did he provide this first-class hospitality? It is not expected in this forest. So he approached the sage and said, my dear sage, can you tell me what is your secret? How do you welcome us so nicely? We want to know your secret. And Jamadagni, as an honest Brahmana, he said, yes, I have a Kama Denu, a cow, Kama Denu, with a calf. This cow and its calf, they are my property. That's all that I have. But whatever I need from them, they can provide. So Kartavire Arjuna said, can I see those? Can I have a darshan of them? Can I just see them? So Jagmandagni went and brought them. And immediately Kartavire Arjuna ordered that the soldiers should carry the Kamadenu and the calf away. It is meant for the king. It is not meant for a sage in the forest. The sage has no value for such a powerful Kamadenu cow. So everything good should be for the king. There is a similar story in the Ramayana about Vishwamrita and Vashishta Muni. Vishwamrita and Vashishta Muni, they have a long story. Vishwamrita was a king before. And in just the same way Kartavirya Arjuna was touring the forest, hunting the forest. And then night fell upon them in the forest. So Vishwamrita was looking for a place to sleep because they've gone very far away from home. And so they came across Vashishta Muni's ashram. And so they approached Vashishta Muni. And Vashishta Muni welcomed them very nicely. He also had a Kamadenu cow. So immediately ordered a Kamadenu cow, provide accommodation for this king and his entourage, provide the best meals, provide them anything they need. So immediately some new construction came up, some nice facility came up, first-class prashadam, everything was provided for Vishwamrita and his entourage. So they spent the night there, they enjoyed themselves, and the next morning, Vishwamrita told Vashishta Muni that I can see that your strength is this Kamadenu. But let me tell you, this is for the king. This kind of living entity should not stay in the forest. It should stay with the king in the city, because the king receives a lot of special guests and he can use them properly. You are living in the forest. How many people are coming here? You are wasting this Kamadenu. So I'm taking the Kamadenu with me. And Vashista said, well, I'm a poor sage in the forest. I don't have any income. I have nothing. I'm depending on this cow. If you take away the cow, then indirectly you are asking me to fast till death. But the king will not listen. The king forcibly was dragging the cow away. And Vashista Muni was standing there very humbly. And then the new cow ordered her sister. He spoke, he cried out to her sister, why are you allowing this degraded king to take me away? Order me, I will multiply, I will create unlimited soldiers here, and they will defeat him and his soldiers. Just order me. And so Vashista Muni said, all right, I order you, do the needful. And immediately there were millions of soldiers coming from the body of Karmadenu. And the soldiers defeated Vashista Muni and his soldiers. They drove them out of the place. They sent them packing. That is how Vashista Muni and Vishamrita decided to become a Brahmana. Because as a Kshatriya, he could not even defeat this poor hermit sage in the forest. With all his military strength, he could not defeat him. The hermit in the forest was able to produce unlimited soldiers, and they were defeated and driven out of the forest. So Vishwamrita decided that instead of living in the city as a king with no power, I will go to the forest and become a Brahmana so that I can be as good as Vashista Muni. That is how Vishamrita changed his Varna. Vishamrita is one of those few personalities that changed his Varna in the same life. He was initially a Kshatriya, but because of this Kamadenu issue, being defeated by a sage in the forest, he decided to give up his Kshatriya dharma and then pursue Brahminical life. He went to perform austerities in order to become a Brahmana. So Kartavirya Arjuna was also following this kind of trend. But he was not lucky, like Vishamrita. He took away the cow, the Kamadenu. At that time, Parashuram was not home. He had gone out with his brothers. When they came back, they saw the father lamenting. They asked him what happened. And the father narrated the story. One king called Kartavirya Arjuna, he had come to take away our only source of income, our only source of sustenance. He has taken away the Kamadenu and the calf, and no amount of pleading can change his mind. So that is the situation. So at that moment, Parashuram's anger arose. He said, this king, he is a demonic king. He is fit to be killed. Because if the king can come to the forest and take away the property of the sages, instead of the king supporting the sages, the Kshatriyas are to support the sages with material resources, and the sages are to give guidance to the Kshatriyas by spiritual direction. That is how the Kshatriyas and the Brahmanas are interdependent. When Manu, Swayambhava Manu, took his daughter with Shatarupa, the wife, and they went to the ashram of Kadarma Muni. There was a very beautiful exchange between them. Kadarma Muni was praising Swayambhava Manu for touring the world with his bow, with his soldiers, to make sure that crime is under control. He was praising him, and Swayambhava Manu was praising Kadarma Muni, that you, the sages, you are more important than us, the administrators, because without your guidance, we are like blind people. You are the eyes. We only give you support, and you with your sight, with your eyes, you guide us. So there was a very beautiful exchange, and there, in the third canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, you can see the interdependence of the Kshatriyas and the Brahmanas. So, the son of Jagamadagni, Parashuram, he was the youngest of all the children. But when he heard that this king, Kartavirya Arjuna of the Haya kingdom, had come to snatch away the father's Karmadenu cow and the calf, at that very moment, his anger rose very high. And he just remembered why he was born. He remembered his duty. He remembered his leela. He picked up his chopper, very sharp chopper, and went after Kartavira Arjuna single-handedly. So when Kartavira Arjuna saw that Parashuram was pursuing him from behind, he stopped, he turned around and asked his soldiers to meet Parashuram. And in no seconds, in no time, Parashuram, with his very sharp chopper, moving like lightning, he killed all the soldiers of Kartavira Arjuna. And when Kartavira Arjuna saw that all his soldiers were vanquished, he himself, in the Kshatriya spirit, he met Parashuram. He had 1,000 arms, so he could shoot 500 bows in one go. So he took out 500 arrows with 500 bows. He aimed at Parashuram. But Parashuram also had one bow and a chopper. But Parashuram also took his single bow with one arrow. He cut all the arms of Kartavirya Arjuna, cut all the bows and cut all the arms, and then with his chopper, he chopped up the head of Kartavirya Arjuna. And that is where Parashurama's anger increased. He took it from there, that there are a lot of unqualified kings like this Kartavirya Arjuna who are parading on the streets as Kshatriyas, but they are simply robbers. They are exploiting the citizens, so they should all be cleared off the surface of the earth. And so from that moment, Parashuram started ridding the earth of the Kshatriya race. Of course, his father was a Brahmana, and did not appreciate what he was doing. So it is said that after he killed a number of, especially when he killed Kartavirya Arjuna, the father told him that, my dear son, what you've done is abominable. It says, Vayam hi brahmanas tata shama yarta hantam gataha yaya loka guru deva pramishtyam agata padam. My dear son, we are all brahmanas and have become worshipable for the people in general because of our quality of forgiveness. It is because of this quality that now Brahma, the supreme spiritual master of this universe, has achieved his post. The duty of a Brahmana is to cultivate the quality of forgiveness, which is illuminating like the sun. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, is pleased with those who are forgiven. So the number one quality of a Brahmana is forgiveness. As Chanakya Pandit has said, Chanakya Pandit said everything has a quality. He said the black cuckoo bird, although very black in color, is beautiful because it has a very sweet voice. Similarly, a woman becomes beautiful if she's chaste and faithful to the husband. And an ugly man becomes beautiful when he becomes a learned scholar in the scriptures. In this way, Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Sudras, they become beautiful by their qualities. Brahmanas are beautiful when they are forgiven. Kshatriyas are beautiful when they are heroic and never retreat from the battlefield. Vaishyas are beautiful when they enrich cultural activities and protect cows. And Sudras are beautiful when they are faithful in this discharge of their duties in pleasing their masters. Thus, everyone becomes beautiful by their special qualities. And for the Brahmanas, the special quality of a Brahmana is forgiveness. So, my dear son, killing a king who is the emperor is even more than killing a Brahmana. But now, if you become Krishna conscious and worship the holy places, you can atone for this great sin that you have committed by killing Kartavirya Arjuna. So, Jamadagni, being a great sage, he was not happy to see his son killing all these fallen Kshatriyas. Actually, it is said that there was a sea of blood because of his chopping business. There was a sea of blood. He killed so many Kshatriyas that the whole earth was full of blood. You will not see water, you only see blood flowing. So Jamadagni wasn't happy with him at all. But Parashuram said that is his mission. He has appeared to rid the well of unqualified Kshatriyas. Because the Kshatriyas, they have a duty. Their duty is to protect the citizens. Their duty is to guide the citizens. Their duty is to facilitate religious principles. But if they fail to do that, they don't deserve to live. So the Kshatriyas, they have a role to play. It's not that they just take care of the political aspect of life and forget about the spiritual aspect. Then why did Lord Krishna speak Bhagavad Gita to the sun god? Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to the sun god. The sun god is a king. He's the king of the sun planet. Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to him so that he can use it to rule the kingdom, to rule the citizens. Similarly, Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. There were many Brahmanas at the time Krishna was on the planet. But why did Krishna not speak to any Brahmana? Krishna rather spoke to Arjuna, gave the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Arjuna became the recipient. Of course, Krishna said because he's his devotee and a friend. But Krishna has so many devotees as well. He has so many friends as well. But Krishna is just demonstrating that the Kshatriyas, they need this knowledge because in administration, it is required. They have to become godly themselves, saintly themselves, and guide others to do the same. So that is a reason why Kartavira Arjuna was killed by Parashuram, and that actually led to the killing of so many kings who were also considered unqualified and who were also parading as kings, but they were exploiting the citizens, they were causing havoc to the citizens, and therefore Parashuram had to kill all of them. It's already 1 hour gone. I've been speaking since 3 o'clock. I have a class, Bhaktivedanta class, and then some other meetings. And so I'm a bit exhausted, but it's service. We cannot avoid service. Even if we are dying, we have to do the service. That is what we have asked for. We are chanting Hare Krishna every day. We are saying, Krishna, give me service. So when Krishna gives us service, we have to accept. So I think 1 hour is gone now. So if there are some questions or comments, they are welcome. Otherwise, we can call it a day. I can see somebody's hand is up already.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, thank you so much for taking this class on and delivering as sweetly as you did, even though you were kind of overtasking yourself. So I think devotees should understand this and express some appreciation, at least, for your sacrifice to be with us, to share your love and wisdom with us. So we thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Jana Chakshu Prabhu, please you may unmute.
Thanks, Gyana Shakshu Prabhu. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Gyana Shakshu Prabhu. My obeisance.
Yes, Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisance. I bless to you, Krishna Prabhupada.
Blessed Gurudev, Galashya Prabhupada. Jai, jai, jai.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, as soon as I joined, I was looking at your face and it's like, Maharaj is very tired.
Yeah, I'm tired actually.
So we are very grateful that we have the chance to speak to us today.
Hare Krishna.
So, Maharaj, my question is, when the scripture says that Parashuram killed the Kshatriyas 21 times,
Yeah.
could you explain? Does it mean that he killed all the Kshatriyas and there were other Kshatriyas that were installed and he killed them, and another ones were installed and he killed them. What does it mean if you say he killed the Kshatriyas 21 times?
Yes, it means a generations of 21 Kshatriyas were killed by him. Generations.
So how long did the Parashuram stay on earth?
And he stayed for many, many years. Even some people say he's still alive self.
Okay.
Some acharyas say Parashuram is one of the Chira Jivas, just like Aswatthama, just like
Yesterday. Yeah.
Just like Narayan Rishi. All of the personalities are still living, but one has to have the qualification to meet them.
Okay.
Yeah. So even he met Noram met Parasuram. The two Rams, the two Rams were together. They were like contemporaries.
Okay.
Yeah. So I said 21 generations of Kshatriyas were killed.
Yeah. Okay. I understand.
Yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for the question and thank you for the answer. I think Srila Prabhupada had also said that there are 3 Rams.
Yeah, 3 Rams, yes.
Balaram, Chandra, Parashuram, and they're all the same.
Yes.
So the devotees should remember that Parashuram is Krishna.
It's Krishna.
It's not a Jiva. It's not a Jiva Tattva. It's a Vishnu Tattva.
Well, that is another question. I've come across some information. I was trying to research a little bit about him. And Parashuram is put under Satyavesh incarnations. So I'm still trying to find out more. See, different acharyas have different perceptions from their realization. So when I read that Parashuram, I think where do I see that? In the Gaga Samhita, the scriptures compiled by Gagarishi, the spiritual master of Nanda Maharaj, who performed the birth ceremony of Krishna and Balaram. He also has his own Samhita. In that Samhita, it is mentioned, they describe the 6 aspects of the Lord. Amsa Sena, Purna, Paripurna, and then Paripurna Tama. And there, the Amsa is considered Satyavesh. And under the Amsa, I was surprised to see Parashuram under that Amsa category. So, but I don't have the time because I have some other service doing. So I couldn't go further to find out from other sources. But all along, I always used to think that Parashuram is a Vishnu Tattva. But when I read that the Amsa is under Amsa, which is a Satyavesh, is the Jivas, which are empowered by the Lord. So I put a question mark there. I will still have to research more before I can give a conclusion. But I just came across that information yesterday. Yeah, so we can do some more research to ascertain whether he's a Jiva Tattva empowered or a Vishnu Tattva. We have to establish that. And I'm just sharing.
All right, thank you. But I read from the Harivamsha, chapter 40. Yeah. Chapter 40 of the Harivamsha that he is an incarnation of Mahavishnu.
I see.
It's an incarnation of Mahavishnu. Okay. Well, I was enjoying the pastimes, and I was thinking to myself because I had made an argument few days ago on the Hare Krishna West Africa WhatsApp platform that as devotees, we're supposed to be intelligent. And therefore, if we are intelligent, we'll know what to do at what time and to what person. You know, like the 5 rights should be there, the right place, the right time, right reason. So this Kamadenu, the pastime of Vishwamitra and Vashishta. Vashishta, being a sage, was not prepared to fight back. But Kamadenu was asking, he says, "You are my Lord. Why would I stay here and see you go through this? But I cannot do anything until you instruct me."
Under me,
Yes. So instruct me. And then when he was instructed, he produced unlimited soldiers and he was able to defeat. So my question is, we are trying to be devotees. And because we're trying to be devotees, we are all the 4 varnas, and at the same time, we are none. This is according to Lord Chaitanya. So should we, aspiring to be devotees, always take the position of being Brahmins, because that's what Srila Prabhupada wanted to educate people in general to become Brahmins? Are we all Brahmins? And the pride of a Brahmin is that of forgiveness. That each time anybody does something crazy, we say we've forgiven you. Should that be the stance of devotees? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I think 2 days ago, His Holiness Guru Prasad Swami gave a class in Mayapur. And there was a related question that was put before him. What happened?
Sorry, go ahead.
A related question was put before him. And then the answer, I mean, it's the same about the same question. What should a devotee do when there is an abuse? When there is an abuse, somebody is abusing another devotee, someone is causing harm to another devotee. What should a devotee do? And Maharaj said that those who are in position of administration, they have to check it. If they don't, and allow the abuse to go on, there is a serious reaction. So he said, those who are in the administrative position, they are considered Kshatriyas. Of course, we are only doing the service of Kshatriyas. We may not be Kshatriyas in spirit. But once we are doing the service, then you should know what is expected of you. So if somebody is abused, somebody is molested or abused, and you are a Kshatriya, you are an administrator, and you don't do anything about it, then you are not even qualified to occupy that position. So he was saying whether we are Kshatriyas or not, but once we accept the service, we accept the administrative duties, then it becomes our responsibility to arrest a situation like that, to take care of a situation like that, to stop it. And if possible, the perpetrators must be brought to book. The perpetrators must be punished to set as an example for others to follow, to see. So the fact that we are in the administrative position means we are actually doing the service of Kshatriyas. And so when there is something wrong, we cannot say because we are being trained as brahmanas, then we cannot act or we cannot do something to correct the situation. Then it means you are not supposed to sit in that position. You're not supposed to act in that, to accept that service. You must act to correct the situation. That's what Marai said. And I like that point.
Well, thank you so much, Prabhuji, for
Hare Krishna.
and the reference.
Hey, Sri
Yes,
Govinda.
Sri Govinda, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Sri Govinda. Nice to see you on your Garuda.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Please accept my respectful obeisances.
Hi.
All glories to Gurudev and all glories to you and your wonderful service, your wonderful Bhagavatam presentation.
All glories to you too.
Thank you very much. Maharaj, I have a question.
Yes, go
And
ahead.
I would actually like you to do justice to this very question because it's a kind of a life and death situation. You made mention in your presentation that one should not become a father, one should not become a husband, one should not become a wife, one should not become a king if he cannot deliver his dependent.
Yes.
So that is a big question. For one to become a king, if you cannot deliver your dependent, it means that if you are a Krishna conscious devotee and you accept the position of a kingship, that means you have to check the activities of your dependents that they do not commit any sinful activities. I remember in a Ekadasi book, one king used to do that. In every Ekadasi, he ordered the whole
citizens to fast. Even animals in his kingdom will fast.
Everybody must fast.
Yeah.
Because he was trying to protect them and also protect himself.
Yes.
And so if one becomes a king, in Africa, all the kings, even though those who don't want to get involved in killing of animals, people, he allows others to kill the animals for their rituals. And the king will say, well, I will not get involved. But if you guys want to do it, you can go ahead. Then these people are still doing it under your directions, under your concern.
Yeah.
And we don't take lives, we don't kill. And we are preaching that people should stop killing. So under your jurisdiction, people are killing under your jurisdiction, and you say, well, I will not get involved directly. What are the consequences? What can the king do to free himself from the reaction of those kind of sinful activities? And again, if the whole citizens does not become Krishna conscious, and it's very, very highly impossible for a king to say that, especially in this Kali Yoga, to check every person staying in your city or your town or village to stop sinful activities.
Yeah.
So what is the reaction for those who have taken this position of kingships, and people are worshiping them and glorifying them and paying obeisances to them and all that? What is their position? Is everybody going to hell? Is there any hope for them?
Well, this is a very serious question. Actually, the Bhagavatam says that the king is entitled to 1/6 of the sinful activities of the citizens. 1/6 of the sinful activities of the citizens. But if the citizens are pious, the king also gets 1/6 of their credits, pious credits. So the king is linked to the citizens. We cannot say that because we are not committing the sin, therefore we're free. No. If the citizens are sinful, the king will take 1/6 of the sinful reactions of the citizens. Whether you permit them or you don't permit them, you will take 1/6. Similarly, if they are pious, then you're also entitled to 1/6 of their pious credits. So, and in Kali Yuga, people are generally very sinful. And so it is a very serious thing. However, if the king is trying to spread Krishna consciousness, if the king is promoting Sanatana Dharma, Krishna consciousness, if the king is encouraging people to become religious, that king is doing his duty, because actually the king is called Naradeva. The scripture describes the king as Naradeva. Naradeva means the God amongst human beings. The king is described as the God amongst human beings. So therefore, the king's duty is to live a religious life and instruct others how to also lead religious lives. So if the king is encouraging the citizens to take the spiritual life, he is a good king. And if the citizens refuse to follow, that is, he has done his part, so that there will be some understanding. But if the king does not raise the issue of dharma, he doesn't talk about religion, he just leaves the citizens to do whatever they like, then he must carry the 1/6 of the sinful reactions of the citizens. But if the king is pushing Krishna consciousness, emphasizing the importance of it, spreading Krishna consciousness, making an arrangement for people to hear, and giving them guidance, some citizens will take up Krishna consciousness and some citizens will not. But in that sense, because he's pushing Krishna consciousness, the Lord is observing, the Lord is watching, and therefore that 1/6 that the king has to carry may not come to him, because he is trying to stop them from becoming sinful. He's promoting religious life. He's helping them to give up sinful life. But some of them have refused. Some of them have accepted, and some have refused. So in this way, the Lord himself will intervene in such a king's situation. Like we see in the case of Yudhishthira Maharaj, he was so worried about the killing of the citizens. He was so worried about the war, after the war of Kurukshetra. He was very worried. He was thinking that because of me, all these 63 million people have been killed. So he was thinking like that. And even Krishna, Vyasadeva could not convince him. Even Krishna could not convince him that he doesn't have to worry about that. It's not on his head, because religious principles must be followed. So finally, Krishna took all the Pandavas to their dying grandfather, Bhishma Dev. And Bhishma Dev preached to Yudhishthira Maharaj that yes, you are not responsible for this sin. You are performing your religious duty. And therefore, whatever is there, the Lord will take care. So it was only then Yudhishthira Maharaj became peaceful. He stopped crying, he stopped lamenting when he heard from an authority like Bhishmadev. So if the king is pushing Krishna consciousness relentlessly, without any, reservation, he is pushing Krishna consciousness, finding ways and means to help people to become Krishna conscious. The Lord judges him from that angle, that he's trying to establish Dharma in his kingdom. And so those who will follow, they'll be blessed, and they will give a credit to the king. Those who will not follow, the Lord takes note of them, because the king is spreading the knowledge. He's encouraging people, and they're not taking. They have to bear their own reactions. Krishna will intervene in that situation.
Okay, thank you, Maharaj. I think part of my question is answered so nicely. You see, but the other part of the question, this is like asking a tortoise to climb a tree. It's very impossible. It will take him 1,000 years, and he will still be lying down there. Yeah, the ancestors has established the worship of the gods, and most of the stools in Africa.
Yeah, blondie
and
stool.
So, yes, and so if one is selected to be a king, he has to follow what the ancestors have laid down, and knowing very well that no matter how much you preach, they are not going to stop that, and then they'll be killing the animals under your directions, under your concern. That is a part of the question. How do we eliminate the karma of that activity? Because you have to kill these animals, and you cannot preach for them to stop killing these animals.
Yeah, that is a very dicey issue, because when you become a traditional ruler, they have their traditions already laid down. They have their system laid down. And even though you may not want to do it, but the people who want to do it. So either you go against the whole system, stop them completely, which may not be possible, or you let them do what they want to do, and you preach your Krishna consciousness and try to help as many people as possible. So the dividing line is that you should not just keep quiet and let them do what they want to do. You have to preach Krishna consciousness, offer Krishna consciousness, and try as much as possible to help many people to take to Krishna consciousness. If you use the position to spread Krishna consciousness, then Krishna will intervene. Just as our Guru Maharaj, he accepted to become a king. He accepted chieftaincy in Wari. He actually wanted to even take chieftaincy from the Ashantahini. But it didn't happen, because he didn't come back to meet the Ashantahini before his time was up. And in fact, even the current Ashantahini mentioned it to us when we visited him. When he was installed. We went to visit him with His Holiness Kavichandra Maharaj, and he asked about Bhaktitita Maharaj, and he said that his uncle, which was the previous Ashantahini, had mentioned to him that that spiritual leader is a very special spiritual leader, and he wanted to, bring him into his kingdom. So he mentioned that to us. So it means that if you become a chief or a king in such a situation, then you must give Krishna consciousness out unlimitedly. That should be your goal. And if you do that and affect many citizens, help many citizens to take to Krishna consciousness, then Krishna will intervene in a situation where they are performing their rituals that are sinful rituals, and you are sitting on top as a king. And by nature's arrangement, you are supposed to share in the reaction to that sinful activity they are performing. But if you promote Krishna consciousness and let everybody know this is your stand, you are a devotee, you don't do these things, and they should become devotees. You promote Krishna consciousness vigorously, Krishna will intervene. That is what I can say. But if you don't promote any Krishna consciousness, you don't do any preaching work, you don't influence anybody, and you just sit there as a king and you say, I'm not concerned with what they do, you will take 1/6 of the sinful activities of these citizens.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank
you very much. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. Prabhuji, there is a problem here. The problem is you need to take rest.
Yes.
And you are also so sweet, and everybody likes something sweet.
Oh.
And it's difficult.
By what time is sweet? By what time is sweet?
Yes, it's difficult. It's difficult for us to let you go, but we also would want you to go. So this is the dichotomy we have today. So the witness, I will humbly suggest if we can be very brief.
Okay, and two hands are up, so let's answer those two questions. After that,
we call it a day, please.
Yes.
We will have him sometime next week or two again.
All right.
So, Jana Chakshu Prabhu, please, you may unmute.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Maharaj, I want to say something in regards to this, the question
Govina Prabhu is asking. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, when I was asked to become the Nkosohenu of the Messiah, these are some of the things that came to mind.
Okay.
So I reflected for a very long time. And these are a few observations. First thing is, the scripture says, if you cannot lead your subjects to liberation, don't be a king.
That's right.
So we should underline the word king. Kingship is different from chieftaincy. In those days where this Bhagavatam or maybe the Puranas were giving this instruction, we were exercising monarchy system. And a king means somebody who takes direct responsibility of his subjects because they pay taxes to him. Everything, he controls it. So in that situation, you have absolute control over your subjects. So in that sense, if you're unable to guide your subjects, like a father unable to guide his children, your children are your absolute responsibility. So if you're unable to do that, then you go to hell. But in the case of chieftaincy, you don't take any tax from anybody. You practically don't receive anything from any of the subjects. So I think that in the place of the kingship, we should put the president there. Because that time the king was the one who manages everything. He collects tax and he does every arrangement in the country. Now, because of democracy, it is the president who is engaged in doing the service that the king used to do. And moreover, in Ghana, we don't have any king. All the they are all chiefs. In the whole world, I think we have only few kings around. If you go to the Middle East, like Dubai, the Saudi Arabia, all those places, they are able to develop because they are kings and they have absolute responsibility of their members. When it comes to Ghana and Africa, some of these places, all those positions are not kings, they are chiefs. Then coming to the question of performance of Jagia, where animals have to be sacrificed. Maharaj, I would like to ask, in the scripture, there is something called Aswamedha Jagia, right?
Yeah.
What does it entail? Is it not something about sacrificing a horse?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
my point is,
Yeah.
there are traditions. There are traditions. So those days, the Kshatriyas could perform Aswamedha Jagia, even though, according to the scripture, when the animal is sacrificed, instantaneously it's given another body to go to a higher planet, whatever it is. But animal sacrifice, some or the other, is also in the Vedic tradition. So my understanding and my realization is, for instance, I am a chief of a village, and according to their own tradition, maybe every year they have to sacrifice a ram to the gods or to the black stool and whatever it is. My duty is to serve my citizens by doing all that I could, but I should not be attached to the result of whatever action I perform in that village. And because I am not attached to anything, I just go ahead and do my responsibility. I don't think nature is going to question me if any animal is sacrificed. For instance, my parents are not devotees. It is my duty as a son to cater for my parents by giving them money. When I give money to my parents, they go and buy meat to eat. So do I have to come and suffer for that responsibility? So Krishna told Arjuna, you must just perform your duty and don't be attached to the result of that activity. In that case, you don't inherit the karma. So yes, if I'm a chief and there are some traditional norms and practices they have to conduct that involves sacrificing of animal, I should draw the line between how I will not be attached to the result of whatever action I perform in that village, so that I will not be entangled with whatever result I come. If not, it becomes almost impossible. Even a temple president, you are the leader of the temple. Are you sure that every devotee in the temple is following everything? So if you're president and you are attached to the result of your position, that's when the negative karma of all these your subjects comes to you. But if you're not attached to the result and you are doing your duty without expecting any expectation, I'm sure that you will not be implicated by the sinful reaction of those subjects. Maharaj, this is a little thing that's my understanding. Hare Krishna.
Well, so many hands are coming up. I don't know what's going to happen. Sadhu Prabhu.
I think, like I said initially, left to me alone, I would prefer that maybe attempting to answer Jana Prabhu's question, comment. We may call it a day, because I think it's better to have something all the time to enjoy than to enjoy it once and never have to enjoy it again.
Okay, I think
if we abuse you today and we cannot have you tomorrow, that would be a problem.
Kusha Prabhu is there. I think that maybe he has something to say.
Srivas, he will give us more 20 minutes, then we close.
Maharaj,
you will give us 20 minutes more.
5 minutes.
Hare Krishna.
You speak.
Hare Krishna.
I have my question and comment on Ganashakshu's. First of all, the comment for 1 minute. Ganashakshu, the scripture does not care about whether you are detached from your activities or not. Scripture is scripture. Ignorance is not an excuse. It takes effect. But the problem is, that's why we have all these ekadashis to help a king to reduce some of his sinful activities from the citizens. But animal slaughter, try as much as you can to not engage in it if you are a king. if there's anything like that, because the scripture will not favor any devotee or any king because we are doing something like that. No. Maharaj, my question was about the kingship issue. I wanted Ganesha should mention it. I wanted to ask, does it also affect the current presidents of nations, of countries? Because all the oil and gas and diamond and gold, they are the people who are enjoying all the cash.
Yeah.
Why are they not suffering and going away from this world
Hey.
for their sinful activities?
Well, that is the question. Actually, we cannot say that they are not suffering or they are suffering. But I think just today or yesterday, I read something. Srila Prabhupada was saying somewhere that generally we just look at the immediate cause. We look at the immediate effect and we pass judgment. Now, when a head of state dies, what will happen to him after he's gone? Nobody knows. Nobody sees. They only see what is happening on this part of the world.
Mm.
So all of these heads of states who are, exploiting the citizens, definitely there is a very big karma waiting for them. In this life, they may look like they're happy, they're enjoying, they're free, but actually the laws of nature are waiting for them. And Prabhupada mentioned somewhere that one of the head of states of India has become a dog in Germany.
Yes.
Yeah, Prabhupada mentioned like that. But if you tell Indians that their head of state has become a dog in Germany, they'll argue with you. They'll argue with you. So
in that sloka of 5.5,
I see.
5.5.8.
Okay, good.
Prabhupada did not mention king. 5.5.18.
5.5.18.
Bhagavad Gita, Canto 5, Chapter 5, verse 18.
Okay.
He didn't even mention kings.
Yeah.
Bhagavatam. Kusha.
I mean, Bhagavatam. I'm sorry.
Bhagavatam.
Canto 5.
Chapter 5. Okay,
I'm trying to bring it on board.
Canto 5.
18. He didn't even mention a king. He only mentioned other. I'm sharing it now.
Okay. Yeah, then 5.5.18. Okay. 5.
It's on the screen.
Okay. Guru Nasasyat. Yeah, it's there.
See.
Guru Nasasyat, Swajana Nasasyat, Pita Nasasyat, Janana Nasasyat, Daiva Natasyan, Napatis Chasyan, Namochayat Yasampute, Samupehitat Mrityum. One who cannot deliver his dependence from the path of repeated birth and death should never become a spiritual master, a father, a husband, a mother, a worshipable deity, a worshipable demigod. I think that worshipable demigod includes the king. Okay. Yeah, the somewhere probably translated as king or something. I've skimmed across some king somewhere.
In the paper also mentioned when the guru can be rejected as Bali rejected Sukracharya. So that means oppositions, when the masses are against the president, they are right to be against the president. It's not an offense. Okay. It's an offense.
Actually, there was something I wanted to say, but because I wanted to see if we will let Prabhu go.
Mother Susunita has a question.
To me, like what Jana Chakshu Prabhu was saying, king, chief, they're all doing the same thing. And two, in Ghana, we have kings. The Asante Hene is a king. He may not be having the powers endowed to
Maybe we should allow Maharaj to go now because it's already 10 o'clock in India. We already said it since.
I
Yeah,
want
yeah.
Mother Sunita to speak.
So, Mother Sunita, please go ahead and speak.
Mother Sunita is saying that we should let Prabhu go.
No, I'm not saying that.
Oh, okay. Okay, go ahead then.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
All glories.
Please accept my humble obeisance.
All glories to your name, God.
Hare Krishna. I think, Maharaj, the question that Govinda Prabhu asked, he's not asking about he's not talking for anybody.
Yeah.
He's just asking that question about himself.
I understand. Yes.
Yeah. I think the family they are disturbing him a lot.
The chief of the
he should
village.
take the position. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So just I want to say it. Yeah. He's not talking about anyone. He's just
He's talking about
asking
himself.
this question for himself. I think you are aware.
Yeah, I'm aware. I'm aware.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you. Hare Krishna. I'm aware.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Okay. So anything else?
Okay. Yes. Well, thank you, Mother Sunita and President Maharaj. Please, we thank you so much. Oh, Shima Maharaj Prabhu, please, you may unmute.
Sign is up. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Obeisance, Prabhu, forgive me. You should forgive me that I am holding you back a little.
Well,
I just want to, because we may not have the opportunity to speak on the same subject. So
okay.
I just want to clarify something about, the kingship and things like that. Almost all the Kshatriya kings in Vedic history, in the Surya Vamsa, are also Durga worshippers. Almost all of them. All of them worship Durga as a rule, which means that they have to do, the animal sacrifice to Durga. So that is one. Secondly, kings have non-violence or not killing is not a sin for kings. It is not a sin or a principle to be observed by kings. So we may be talking about giving Krishna consciousness to the citizens, but non-violence or killing is not a principle that kings should observe. This is what the scripture says. Yes. And then lastly, if the Surya Vamsa Kshatriyas are worshippers of Durga according to the Vedic tradition, then we cannot exempt our own kings from following their own tradition as well, in the manner of killing for rituals. I had you using the word sinful ritual, and I was shocked because when it comes to tradition, we have heard several times from many places, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur also saying that when it comes to tradition, devotees should respect it. Yeah. So anyway, that's just my humble contribution. Thank you for waiting to hear me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yeah, it's interesting. So the Vedic tradition is very broad and is what do I say? It's very accommodative. That's a fact. In fact, you'll be surprised to hear this, but when I came across it, it was a shock for me. Even somewhere in the Bhagavatam, it is mentioned human sacrifice. I don't know when anybody has read across it.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes. Yes.
You've come across it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's mentioned that there was some human sacrifice somewhere. And when I came across it, I was wondering, what is this? But the fact is that in Kali Yuga, in fact, there is a verse. In Kali Yuga, all these things are condemned, actually. Yeah, in Kali Yuga, all these sacrifices are condemned. I was just looking at the verse. Karma senyas should not be taken. Aswamedha should not be performed. Yeah, it talks about all these things one should not do in Kali Yuga. Let me just get the verse. I'm just looking at it before I close my notebook. Okay. Karma senyas. Karma senyas. Senyas should not be taken. Aswamedha. Yeah, 5 things. 5 things should not be done in Kali Yuga. Aswamedham Gavalambam Sanyasa Pala Paitrikam Devarena Suto Patim Kalo Pancha Vivar Jayat. In the age of Kali, the following 5 kinds of karma kanda practices are forbidden. Offering a horse in sacrifice, offering a cow in sacrifice, accepting karma senyas, offering oblations of flesh to the forefathers, a man begetting a child in the brother's wife. These are the 5 things that are prohibited in Kali Yuga. So this is, and we can reflect on this for today.
Yeah. So thank you so much. So on this note, we're going to humbly request all the devotees to kindly unmute, and we all chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to express our appreciation to His Grace, Srivas Vanacari. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama.
Who is this Takora?
Srivas Vanacari Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Glory to you. Vandamas Pranam.
Oh, it's a Gurudev and some Prabhupada.
You have to come quickly from India so that we can continue with our questions.
We can do what?
You should come quickly from India so that we can continue.